This will be a description of the Quickdraw weaving program's framing controls. Now there's several different ways to select an area of the screen. The most obvious is I can just take a right mouse click or a left mouse click if the mouse is set up that way to select an area of the screen, and it will tell me the size of that area. I can also ask for an area in the middle of the screen. If I mouse click into it, say 10, select it again, 30, it will give me a box in the middle of the screen that's 10 high by 30 wide. So I can select an edit screen if I want to that way. The other tool I have to select an area of the screen is the reference green lines. So if I select an area and I'm just doing a right mouse click in an area and then a drag left or right or up or down, tells me whether I want to set a vertical line or horizontal. So if I ask for framing control now, it will set the framing box. The nice thing about the green lines is I can scroll and they are stationary, and I can highlight an area pretty cleanly with that. So that's new, and that's a useful way to select an area. Once I have a pattern created, and if I want to work on that, most of the time I tend to just use the right mouse click as a way to select it. Once I have an area selected, now I've got other things to do. Number one, that controls the clear grid. If I have an area selected, it would clear it, or undo and put it back. Notice I missed by a hair, those two boxes are out on the right. It selects also whether I want to do threading, substitution, as well as I can scroll that area up, down, left, right. I can copy that area. If I hit the copy buffer, it will save it. I can save that as the thread blocks into the threading structures here. So if I select an asymmetric pattern, it's a little bit easier to see. I can reverse it left and right. I can invert it to up and down. Toggle it with switch foreground and background. I can turn it 90 degrees. So 4 times would take me back where I started. I can also shrink it so that it would be reduce it 2 to 1, so it would take that larger image and just create a smaller image. And once I have an area, for example, if I like that as a threading pattern, I can export that draft back over. I could also save that as text or an image to the screen. I can use that as a profile draft and do thread substitution. For example, if I want to look at the primary libraries, that's what that pattern would look like using each one of the standard block substitution library elements. If I go back, I can also do a layer substitution. For example, if I go to the structure library, copy the background of a Bronson lace to the background structure of the lace pattern, to copy B. If I do a threading substitution on that, it's actually, and scroll out, you can see that it's actually done a substitution of the backgrounds for the tabby and the spot Bronson for the pattern structures. So that gives me the ability of kind of all the things I can do once an item, how to frame a portion of the grid, as well as what I can do with it once I have it framed.